everybody talks about Japan, right? The food, the culture, the trains, the temples, the cities. And before our first trip, we wondered, could Japan really be as amazing as everyone says it is? And everyone, even meaning our daughter. Our daughter has been in love with Japan for years. She even learned or started learning Japanese when she was at Vanderbilt and started learning about Asian culture. So we've been hearing about Japan and Asia from her forever. But after spending time there last year, we realized something. And the thing that we loved most about Japan really wasn't just like one attraction or one city. It was just this feeling. And I don't know how else to explain it. It is truly a vibe. And that feeling stayed with us long after we even left. We were still talking about our trip. And we visited a lot of other cities too last year that we really enjoyed. Um, but we enjoyed Japan so much that we're going back again this year, and we're going back this fall. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and do so because we're going to have so much more content coming up with this fall trip to Asia, and we're really, really excited about it. So go ahead, subscribe, and if you have been one of our many subscribers now, thank you very much. We hope that we can grow the channel even more. So please go ahead and give us a thumbs up, comment. We really appreciate all of those interactions. So if you've been watching Exist for Travel for a while since we started, again, thank you. But you probably noticed that we're not travelers who need to rush from attraction to attraction. Of course, we do see famous places, but more and more that's not necessarily the things that make a trip for us. We're discovering what really matters to us and how the place makes us feel. So, Exist for Travel really is about a vibe, a feeling, even our new playlist that is combining some of our travel experiences with music because we love music and we think music is a great way to experience a place. We're kind of sharing that with our playlist and the city and the vibes with music. So definitely go ahead and look at our playlist because I think you will enjoy that if you like travel like this. So when we are traveling now, some of the things that we're looking at is can we slow down? And can we wander? You know, we like just wandering around. And I think a lot of people do when they travel, right? You like just kind of being able to explore a little bit. Can we sit in a cafe and do some people watching? You know, can we find beautiful places that don't necessarily appear on everyone's top 10 list? So I get to do that because I'm an English teacher online. I have the privilege of meeting some of my students in their countries and in their cities, and they get to show me definitely places that I would have never known about if I was just looking at some of the regular places that people go to and the most popular places. So, another reason to subscribe to the channel. So, that's what we call soft travel. All of those things is that we're just taking it a little bit softer, and hopefully that appeals to you, and you will find a place or a destination that maybe you want to go to. But I definitely think you got to put Japan on the list for sure. There's a feeling in Japan that's just so difficult to explain. You know, you can be in one of the most populated cities in the world, like a Tokyo, for example, and just somehow you find yourself on this little quiet little street where everything suddenly seems like totally calm. And one minute you're surrounded by people and you're moving around, and then a few minutes later you're standing in a garden or besides a temple that just appeared out of nowhere. It's just so calming. I love the blending of a city life because both my husband and I are city people for sure. And then this calming and country, even sometimes, type of feeling. I love it. We love the contrast that we experience in Japan. And sometimes nothing has to happen at all. We're just simply walking and looking and listening, and we're just taking it all in. And that's, for us, soft travel. That's why Japan kind of just caught us off guard and took our hearts immediately. We really enjoyed it. Also, Japan reminded us that something doesn't have to be a major attraction to be beautiful. Sometimes it's just the way that a meal is presented. And Japan, oh my goodness, you really experience that. The way that they care about everything that they do and they present is absolutely beautiful and remarkable. You just see these little tiny shops and people really taking care of their business. It's a pleasure to experience that. And then, of course, we like the train stations, of course, and like I mentioned, the quiet streets in the early morning or late at night. All of these things are like details that probably a lot of times tourists miss. And so it is nice to just kind of be able to pay attention to the little things, because when you're traveling, those little things sometimes matter more than the big events or the big attractions. Because when you slow down, it's like ordinary life kind of just slips in, and it's part of the experience. And that's what we love. So, of course, one of the biggest reasons we wanted to experience Japan was definitely for the culture. And for example, in Kyoto, we went to the Geisha Museum, and that was just absolutely fascinating. And seeing the performance in Tokyo, we saw a traditional drum performance that also was remarkable. And that performance was recommended by one of my students who actually lives there. And I think we were probably the only tourists, maybe, in the audience at that time, or just a few of us at least. But it was absolutely wonderful. And so we enjoyed walking through some of the most historical areas in Japan, like Kyoto, for example. And we did that with with one of my students and her husband, and they were able to explain things to us. And we had questions we could ask someone. So we really love Japan for this reason. And we knew that one trip just wasn't enough. And our trip was short. It was only like a week or so. So we didn't really have enough time to see Japan the way we wanted to and to understand it a little bit more. So another reason why to go back. And then there were the trains. We live in America, and unfortunately, we're not in an area where we have trains like this. Definitely not these fast bullet trains. And it's just great to be in a country where you can get around without a car. We're so used to driving in the US. So it's nice to be able to get on a train, be in another city, and then go back. You can do a day trip, which we're doing this particular trip. Next time, we're doing some more of that. And it's nice to know that we didn't always need a car to take us somewhere. We could, walk, and we could take trains. So definitely that was fantastic. Another thing that mattered to us is simply feeling comfortable exploring. So that means safety, right? So we're early morning walkers. At least I try to do that as often as I can, and in cities where I can do it. So sometimes we just want to go out early, and sometimes we want to go out late after dinner. And we could do that in Japan. So we just felt free. Part of the vibe that we felt was just this freedom to do that, not totally putting our guard down, because we're Americans. So, we're always looking behind our, backs and trying to make sure that we're in a safe environment. So that's kind of natural and ingrained in who we are. But we were able to know, oh, okay, this is going to be okay. This feels comfortable, and we felt a little bit freer to just wander around. And freedom matters to us when we're traveling, and that's why Japan is another pull for us as well. So it's a huge part of, how we travel. We want to be able to wander around. And if a place kind of restricts that, then it immediately becomes a place that maybe it's just a place that we're going to travel to and visit on vacation. Um, but we do want to find places that we can do a lot more. And so, yes, the food, of course, some of our favorite experiences were being in a restaurant with my students and them explaining what we're eating and talking about the culture and of food and how important it is and how it's presented and how the waiters explain what you're eating. It's fascinating. The just the care that's taken in food in Japan. Definitely, food becomes another way to experience Japan. It's just these, small little everyday things that we do, going out to a restaurant and eating, that becomes a true experience and is so different, and you just want more. So, is Japan really worth all the hype for us? You already know the answer, right? Yes. And probably not for the reasons probably that we expected. It wasn't just one place, one city, or one event. It's just, like I said, it is just this feeling. It's just something that we look forward to more and more. So I feel, and also feeling that we could slow down and we could explore, we could be curious, we could also be in a safe environment. And so when we left Japan, we knew for sure that we weren't finished. We're coming back, and that's what we're doing this year. So this year, this fall, we are getting ready for our trip. We're planning right now. We're in planning mode right now because we have this trip to Asia. It's going to consist of a new country for us, and that is China, and also Japan. And this trip will be a little bit longer for us in Japan as well. So there are places that we want to revisit. We're going to show you that, but there's also parts of Japan that are going to be new for us. We're going to show you that as well. And then we're going to explore by driving. So this will be the first time that we're driving on the left hand side of the road. Ooh, stay tuned for that. And we just want to see what Japan feels like when we leave some of the major transportation, like the trains, behind, and also consider driving because we do love driving. And we've talked about that and showed that on the channel as well. We are like road trip warriors. We love being on the road. Both my husband and I enjoy driving. So we're going to try that. We're going to try that. We did it in Turkey. So now we're going to do it in Japan. But this time it's unique because it's going to be on the other side of the road. We don't know how that's going to feel yet. So this trip is going to be fantastic. And our travel in the future is going to be changing. We're going to be talking and thinking less about where we're going to vacation next, but more about where we actually want to stay for a while. So not 3 days, not even a week. We're talking about a month to 3 months at a time. So that's going to change what we're looking for because we do need to be someplace where we feel, first of all, that our health is always a concern. I have a medical condition. I have to be places, and when I'm staying someplace longer, it has to be a place where I can get good medical care. That's like number one for us. But also we are looking at transportation, walkability, food and grocery stores, and safety with the food and the grocery stores, right? You want to be someplace that maybe you don't have to worry too much about over pollution to the fact that it affects us physically. So there's a lot of different things that you look at when you start thinking, can we live in Japan for 90 days? And that's where we're going to be exploring a little bit more this particular trip. So yes, we are excited about this. We hope that you will subscribe to the channel so that you could see this upcoming type of videos that we're going to have. It's going to be awesome. Also, don't forget to look at our new playlist where we are putting our music vibe, our appreciation for music with our footage that we have from different cities. And we love this playlist. We think it's something that a lot of people will enjoy putting on while you're doing your everyday things in your life and being able to see some of the nice footage that we were able to get. So Thank you for watching. We hope that you will keep returning to see our footage that we're going to have for China and Japan, and a couple other places. We're going to also visit Taiwan again, and also we'll be taking a layover in Toronto. So we have so much more traveling to do. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and make sure that you enjoy your travels a little bit softer. Thanks for watching.